It's a depressing thought that pregnancy and childbirth can play havoc with your figure, and the demands of motherhood aren't exactly conducive to looking glamorous, are they? Well, it's all the more extraordinary then that at the age of 45, Annette Edwards has not only relaunched her successful modelling career, but she's also managed to bring up 10 children along the way as well. And she joins us now together with just two of her offspring, Jodie, who's 22, and Milo, who's 19, who are both now modelling as well. You were actually an only child yourself, though, weren't you, Annette?
I was, yes.
Yeah, I mean, did you actually miss not having lots of brothers and sisters around you?
It was very, very lonely. I mean, my mother and father, actually, I wasn't a planned child at all. They didn't want any children.
Oh, really?
So my grandmother brought me up. She was on the stage all her life, so my life was quite full in a way. But I don't think people should have an only child. I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, do you think that's part of the reason why, you know, you wanted to have more children?
Well, I didn't plan 10.
I bet you didn't.
But 3 or 4, yes.
Well, tell us about your early modelling career, because you mentioned your gran, and it sounds like she was a real sort of encouragement and inspiration to you.
She was. I mean, all her life, she was on the stage herself, and I used to go everywhere with her.
What did she do?
She was a singer, and she played the piano. She was top of the bill at the Town Hall in Birmingham, places like that. So I travelled around a fair bit with her.
So presumably when you said you fancy becoming a model, she didn't go, oh, no, no, you've got to have a sensible job then.
No,
she was quite encouraging.
She was quite encouraging, yeah. She sort of took me there and to telecast studios in Birmingham, and I was snapped up in a couple of weeks at the age of 14 and a half. So.
Wow. And did fantastically well. Made quite a bit of money, didn't you?
Not too bad.
What were you earning in those sort of days?
I mean, in
then?
those days at 15 in London, it was sort of £40 a week, where my friends that was working in a shop was on about £4 a week.
Wow.
So it was a lot of money.
So did you have a good time with it?
Well, mainly spent it on clothes. I think teenagers do, you know, so...
Yeah. Well, I mean, you hadn't actually been working very long when you fell in love and got married. Very young, about 17, weren't you?
Yes, yeah.
And sort of put the modelling career really on the back burner, didn't you?
Yeah.
And decided to have children, and boy, did you have children. In fact, your second baby came very quickly after the first one.
She did. He did.
You're forgetting, you see. I don't blame you.
I get them mixed up.
Is it right that some midwife gave you a bit of dodgy advice about breastfeeding?
Well, she did. She said, you won't conceive, you know. But there I was, went for my postnatal, 6 weeks, and I was pregnant. So... Don't believe it.
I was trying to work out the maths, actually, and maths is not my strong point, but I worked out that you must have been almost pregnant kind of 1 year, almost every year, one child almost every year.
Yeah. Nappies for 11 years solid, and they wasn't disposable ones in those days.
Really?
Yeah. So
God, you must have had good pregnancies, though.
Yeah, they was good. I mean, Milo was 10.5 pounds. And I had him at home, so...
Milo now looking vaguely embarrassed by that. So, I mean, I just, you know, having twins, gosh, you know, that's incredibly tiring.
Yeah,
I just don't know. How did you do it? How did you cope?
I think I just had lots of energy, and I did enjoy it. And I even used to dressmake, you know, and do all their clothes and...
Now I'm feeling very inadequate. Did you have help, though? I mean, did you have sort of family around you to help you?
Not really, no. I really sort of had the attitude, I'm going to do this on my own, you know, and I did.
I mean, what were meal times like?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Hectic.
You must be a very organised woman.
Well, you have to be, you know, well organised, and that's how you do it, really.
Jodie, what was it like growing up in such a big family?
It's great, but she's put me off.
Has she really?
I'm not having any.
Oh, don't say that.
You see the reality and the responsibility. There's so many young people now that obviously have children so young. And even though it's, you know, it's wonderful, because we're such varied ages, you know, I don't live with Mum anymore, but I can go to the house and take out 2 little sisters, teenage brothers, or go for a drink with the older ones. So because it's nice for me, it's as though I've got little children now, because I can just take them out, but when they're a bit naughty, I can give them back. So it's even better. One
thing I suppose, I've heard children who are in big families say that sometimes you can feel a bit left out, Milo. I mean, did you feel that sometimes, that, you know, there's not... I mean, it's difficult for Mum to sort of spread herself around everybody. Did you ever feel that?
I suppose at a stage, because I was the youngest one at the stage.
The youngest of 6.
Saying that, you make up with it in other ways. Christmases and birthdays and that.
Oh, that's great.
Get all the presents and that.
Lots of parties and fun.
I mean, everyone has their own little thing that they're good at.
Yeah.
And in a big family, if you're all very loving and get on, you see that in everyone. And you know when someone's good at running, or, you know, like their animals or whatever, you all have that little thing, and it's nice.
And you've got... Your youngest is, what, a year and a half?
Year and a half, yeah.
Yeah. Gosh.
Hello, Paige. She'll be watching me now with her dad.
Well, look, tell us about how you you relaunched, really, your modelling career, didn't you? How did that come about?
Well, when I separated from my husband, having the 6 children, I thought, right, now I've got to get on with it again. My friends were saying, Annette, you still look great. So I thought, right, I'm going to have another crack at this. So I actually went to an agent that I used to work for, and he said, yeah, come back. So my surprise, I actually did Adidas billboards and Coca-Cola, which you know, was brilliant. So I carried on from there.
And then you got the Nivea.
The Nivea ad, yes, was recently.
And that involved 8 of your children, didn't
yes,
it?
I mean, the guy that created that was Trevor Beatty. He's the chap that did the Wonder Bra, and it's down to him, really, the Nivea ad. So, great.
Now, we've got a bit of a test. We just have a little flash of it there. I don't know if we can have another little look at that, because this should be a sort of, you know, university challenge test. Can you name your children from left to right?
I can. There's Milo, there's Thomas, there's Jodie. Hang on, we haven't moved. There's Liam, there's Graham, there's Matthew, Chantel and Paige, and myself.
It must be hilarious when you're trying to call them in for their tea, actually, because you know...
You do get a bit tongue-tied.
Yes. I suppose they answer to anything, really, don't they?
Yeah.
So, I mean, people must look and think, well, you know, how on earth do you manage to even, you know, look human, let alone look as good as you do? I mean, have you got any sort of secrets of how you've kept yourself looking good?
The main thing is to look after yourself as you're growing up. I mean, I've done that with the children, you know, their skin, moisturise. I mean, I have used Nivea Visage, but, you know, I always used a good moisturiser anyway. And just careful diet. I mean, there's a lot of junk food around now. My advice is don't let your kids have it, you know. Just keep to fruit and things like that instead of sweets. You know, just sensible diet, a few exercises.
Do you do exercise?
I do exercises,
How do you find the time?
Well, I just make time. I think every mum or every woman has got to make time for herself.
The secret is, before she starts, before the kids wake up, she has half an hour to herself.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Really?
And wakes all the children up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because once they're awake...
I don't get time after that, so, you know, it's make time, really.
Yeah, being organised, I suppose, helps.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine that you could get to sort of resenting in a way that there never is any... I mean, you know, most parents say, oh, you know, what's happened to the me time, you know?
I know, yeah, I mean, you can think night time comes and, you know, all your time's been gone on your family or work or whatever. So you have to make time for yourself, even down to your hair, you know, looking after every part of you.
Is it right when you got that contract they asked you if you'd had any plastic surgery?
Oh, well, little secrets. I haven't had plastic surgery.
Because I know they don't hire people.
I would have it, though.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not against plastic surgery.
Yeah, well, you definitely don't need it at the moment, let me tell you.
In another 5 years, I might.
So, do you want to give us your verdict on what sort of mum she was, Jodie, or is?
She's a special friend as well. There's a lot of people that have their mums and they're a mum, but they can't go to them to talk to them. I mean, Mum, we all go out shopping all the time, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
We actually buy even the same things by accident. We've gone out and bought the same things by accident and go out for a drink, and it's very special.
Milo?
As Joe says, basically, very understanding. If there's a problem in the house, I always sort of have a family meeting and
sort it out.
It must be great, actually, because you've got your own sort of social network all in your own family, haven't you?
Any problems, have a meeting, family meeting, get it thrashed out, it's out the way.
Yeah. Well, I'd just like to say I am deeply impressed. I really am. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks ever so much for coming in and joining us today.
Right.